everyone, this is Season Over 992 and today we're back for another brand new video. And yeah, somehow I'm late to what was already going to be a late upload. But in my defence, troops, I was expecting to be back for Poland in the bed, sleeping about the back of free. I didn't walk in my front door till 4:30. And if you think I look bad now, by God, it was rough last night. So a sleep was needed, not only for that, but for my sanity, but also just to mentally process what the hell the last 24 hours is actually been, right? Because for so much of the trip away, it was damn near perfect. You know what I mean? The weather was incredible, the people were incredible, the food was incredible, the prices of everything was incredible. Me and Steve was firing about scooters, driving about the old tune, new tune, every tune there is about Poland. It was incredible, troops, right up till the moment that the game kicked off and we are slapped down and reminded that the worst part again about being a Rangers fan is needing to watch Rangers play football. And look, I know it's early on in the season, it's a European competition and it's a tricky away day versus a side that nobody's ever heard of. And sometimes when you tie that bad boy together, it can land like a lead balloon and cause a shock and cause an outrage and people go absolutely mental. And not only have we had obviously a very colourful history with that now and again, which you didn't need me to say. You've seen some bad shocking results in European football. The Hibs result a couple of weeks ago. I mean, even Celtic, that Lincoln Red Hibs for years ago. Sometimes it can happen when you tie all that together. And I know that's what people are saying that this result is, and that's what they're saying it is. It's just like that. It's just like that. Where I get why people go on that, because again, it's not a name, it is popular actually there. I do think it's slightly disrespectful to the opposition, as I think they are much better than a lot of the teams we've mentioned and some of our blemishes we've had on the European stage. Again, they finished third last year. Aye, but they were 4 points off the top. They went out in the European football at the round of 32. Aye, but they bet Fiorentina free frickin' nothing in Italy in 90 minutes to force extra time, where they still went ahead and won 4-2 despite being down to 10 men, right? So they've got a bit of football about them, but again, at the exact same time, no matter what side of the fence you sit, if you just want to chuck it together, the European blemish can happen earlier on in the season. It can happen in the away day. And again, 90% of these games and 90% of these shock results end up going ahead and getting fixed and corrected and resolved at the next game in the home match. And where I hope with every fibre in my being that we end up doing that, so we never need to talk about this game or think about this game again. I guess what I'm sitting here saying and building up to, ladies and gentlemen, the most damaging thing and most damning thing I can say regarding what I'm seeing from my football team right now is I'm not 100% confident that we will. The hope is through the roof. The confidence is like 50-60% right now, because what I'm witnessing with my very own eyes for shape, intensity, pressing, creating any resemblance of chances, it's not that great right now, troops. It really, really isn't. But I'm just hoping that confidence does start creeping up and start getting closer and closer and closer. The closer, ironically, we get to Thursday, with maybe a couple more additions to that squad, strengthening the key vulnerable positions in this team, but also maybe a result at the weekend for Hibs, just to give us a platform, something to grab on, something to build on, faith. Because honestly, there were spells in that game of football. It wasn't bad. It was rotten. And I didn't like it.
Well, I mean, look, I'm going to bring up this super chat from William Graham. William, I can't get it up on the screen, mate. Apologies, but a massive super chat there. Thank you very much. And he simply says, Ash, we only scored 2 goals in 3 games. What chance do we have scoring 2 in a match without reply? Our defence is pish, worrying signs. Now, just to kind of add on to that a wee bit, it is obviously Derek's second competitive game. Ash, drop points against Dundee United. We've now lost without really, I mean, we'll come on and we'll talk a little bit about Finlay. I think he made a little bit of a difference when he came on. He gave us a bit more of an attacking threat. Dragiellovic was very vocal. Shankland came on, not given a lot of time, but didn't look great. We do look a bit powder puff again going forward.
Deja vu, for the 15th year running. It seems like Derek's likely the man for the job, but there's a few things that's really bugging me. Normally, when a new manager comes in, you get the new manager bounce. But put it this way, if we were mid-season, we were playing Hibs at the weekend, and they just sacked a manager, get a new manager in, the first thing we're saying in podcasts is, be careful of the new manager bounce. Listen, there's no point in sugarcoating it. It seems as if we're worse than last season. And what's annoying me about Derek is he knows our league inside out. He knows these players inside out because he studied them. Last year he'll have said things like, go at Chermiti, go at Fernandez, that Asgard, force him out wide. He can't play, he's not too good out wide. Diamande, I don't want to see him play football for us again. Chotwani, Jesus. Derek knows these players because he played us 4 times last season, so he's spent time watching Rangers at away games, you know, when Hearts weren't playing on the telly, and they have access to the games for other teams. Chotwani, he came in, had a couple of good games, and his attitude stinks. For me, he's 23-year-old. To me, it looks like I've had quite a big wage rise. I don't need to worry. I've got a 3-year contract. There's nothing they can do. It's wrong. That team yesterday was just a team of individuals that didn't seem to know what they're doing. And those 2 goals, man, were unbelievable. To be fair, we started well. And I was sitting there, I was lying through there. I was like, this is all right. Could go here. We went 1 up with a great bit of play. I think it was Diamande to Romans into the box, a great cross in. It caused a nightmare for the defender, and he put it in his net. And then what happened? Those defensive errors shouldn't be happening at that level. Fernandez thinks he's Beckenbauer, and his attitude stinks as well. He thinks he's way, way better than he is. And like Durante says, he doesn't want to see that kind of attitude from our player. Just boot it up the pitch. We've got players on that pitch, players that we've brought in. Makiana, centre half, £3 million, still not played. Because when that team came out last night, I thought, right, is he treating it like the League Cup? Whereas we drop a few players, save them for the league. And then the more I think, I thought, why doesn't he have these players on, the new players on, getting them match fit? You know, use that, if you're going to have that kind of attitude, I'm not saying he did, get them on, get them match fit. That Makiana, the South African boy, he's still not played yet. And he should be starting on Saturday because Fernandez has to be dropped. Sterling as well. We need a new right back. McCrory, man. We need a right back. And that was people saying we're screaming out for a right back. I think we need a defender in all 4 traditional back line positions.
Hello everyone, my name's David Edgar, I'm the host of Heart and Hand, the Rangers podcast, and I'm joining you tonight after Rangers lost 2-1 in Poland to Jagiellonia Bialystok in the 3rd round of our Europa League qualifying tie. And oh boy, where to start with that one? Rangers defending tonight was abysmal, really bad. It cost us 2 goals, it could have cost us more, and that might have put the tie beyond doubt. The fact is that it is only a 1-goal deficit to bring back to Ibrox, but it could have been a hell of a lot worse. And the annoying thing is Rangers started well. We were good for the first 10 minutes or so and took the lead, and deservedly so. Great bit of work by Mo Diamande down the left-hand side. He slipped into Romans on the overlap. His cross was missed by Yusuf Chermiti, probably should have gotten the end of it, but then it came off a defender and rolled into the goal. And at that point, I was honestly thinking 10 minutes in, we could, let's push here. We could probably go and get ourselves into a really good spot in this tie. And then we just self-destructed, and it came about because our defence, particularly in the first half, was paper thin. The first goal is really just poor. I mean, we lost that one at Tannadice and nothing seemed to be learned. Ross McCrory, who was not good at all tonight, he doesn't do enough to stop a cross coming in. Then Manny Fernandez, who was also really bad for the whole game, he kind of waves a leg at it. It comes off him, and that confuses Dujon Sterling, who's at centre back, and it rolls into the corner of the net. And the second goal, though, I mean, it's actually, you note the amount of things that Rangers had to do wrong for this to be a goal, and we somehow managed to do them all. First of all, Dan Neil, who played and captained the side, but was taken off at half time because he was not a factor at all. He tries a pass that isn't on, a central pass, when we're attacking, when he's got an overlap and he's got a wide player free and he doesn't see him, and he tries instead to pass it into the centre of the box to Tello Asgard, who tries a flick that doesn't come off and then lets them counter. Asgard was at his frustrating worst tonight, just flicks and tricks not coming off, wanting too much time on the ball and being robbed constantly. This is a frustrating thing with him. He has good moments like at Tannadice and you think, right, okay, and then you get that tonight. But even at that, there's still the length of the pitch to go. Bialystok run up, nobody stops the cross, nobody gets near him. Cross comes into the box, Fernandez falls, he slips on the pitch, a constant theme tonight. And although Ivor Pandor saves it from the rebound, it's knocked in and it's 2-1. And at that point, we were rocking. We really were rocking at this stage. And to be honest, as I say, I'm kind of glad it just was 2-1 at half-time. Derek McInnes then made 3 changes at half-time. He brought on Nico Raskan, he brought on Finlay Curtis, and he brought on Cammy Devlin. And they did help, they did improve the side. But again, that's now 2 matches in a row where the managers had to make half-time subs. That's 5 half-time subs in 2 games. So clearly the starting lineups are not right.
My name is Scott Carney, and joining me to discuss that absolute bin fire of a performance from Rangers is Ali Pearson. Ali, how are you?
After that show, that was dreadful, Carney, and that's me being polite. I know we're not past 8 o'clock and I can't swear properly, but yeah, I wish I could have watched that in the pub so I could have had a couple of drinks to make it easier to watch. It was a very, very painful watch, Carney, and we'll get into it. But as I said, we've not brought in quality, and it shows big style. But aye, that's where the only positive I would say on it, Carney, is it was only 2-1 and we're still in the tie. So that's the only positive I'll say from the full 90 minutes today.
Yeah, hello chat, hello everyone, thanks everybody for tuning in to listen to these two ageing idiots discuss an idiotic performance from Rangers. And you're right, mate, they literally, we were just having a quick chat before we come on there, and the only positive is the fact that we're still in the tie. That's not good. I mean, there's none of that you can really lay your hat on something there and go, oh, I see what's happening here and I can see what these players are trying to do, what the manager's trying to do. And before anybody says anything, no, I'm not saying sack Derek McInnes, but as a performance overall from Rangers, as a Rangers team against, no disrespect, but kind of disrespectful at the same time, a team that Rangers should be beating. Let's be completely honest, there's no really two ways about it. Rangers should be beating them, and that was a hard watch. That was a hard 90 minutes of football to sit and watch, because there was it's unbelievably frustrating to watch Rangers. And yes, we're at the start of a full proper rebuild. I absolutely get that, but it's nowhere near good enough, and it's worrying that the players that we've bought doesn't really seem to have had a massive impact on the approach that we take to games. Just something has not changed in that regard, and we've seen far too much of the same mistakes that's cost this Rangers team for far too long. Ali, the starting 11, if you had this on at the bookies, you are a millionaire, an absolute millionaire. None of us seen that coming. It was Pandor, McCrory, Fernandez, Sterling in centre half, Romans at left back, Dan Neil, who captained the side, Diomande, Chukwueze, Asgard, Yokota coming in for his debut after being in the building a minute, and Shamiti up top. Definitely looked more like a 4-3-3 or a 4-3-2-1 almost, Ali, with obviously having Asgard coming in off the left and Yokota being on the right hand side, but nobody's seen that starting 11 coming, mate.